did Blake Lively submit her complaint to the California Civil Rights Department? I'm going to break it down for you as a California lawyer.
It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
Asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could...
Clip 1. Blake Lively's once untouchable reputation has taken a dramatic nosedive, unraveling faster than anyone could have predicted. What started as a stumble has exploded into what many insiders are calling one of the most catastrophic image breakdowns in recent Hollywood memory. In just 3 days, her PR team made a string of poor decisions that turned a manageable situation into a full-scale credibility crisis. Fans who once praised her are now calling it a textbook case of how not to handle damage control. Adding fuel to the fire, Ryan Reynolds made a quiet but noticeable move that linked actor Justin Baldoni to the chaos, pulling him into the spotlight of a scandal he had nothing to do with. That single action sparked endless memes and online commentary, dragging the couple's carefully crafted golden image into public ridicule. The controversy has snowballed so quickly it's been difficult to track each twist, yet the tension keeps escalating by the hour. At the heart of this collapse sits mistake number 1, widely labeled as one of the most glaring PR missteps of the year: Blake's attempt to pin the fallout from her disastrous press interview on Justin Baldoni. The narrative fell apart immediately. Anyone who watched the interview or even caught the clips circulating online could see the backlash had nothing to do with Justin, and everything to do with Blake's own words and delivery. To put it in context, this drama ignited during the promotional campaign for It Ends With Us, a film that was already weighed down by criticism long before release. Instead of approaching the press tour with care and empathy, Blake's dismissive comments and lack of awareness regarding domestic violence survivors became the story. Rather than highlighting the sensitive themes of the novel and film, she shifted focus to her own ventures, leaving audiences feeling overlooked and offended. That miscalculation didn't just dent her public image, it shattered the trust many fans once had in her. What should have been an opportunity to show depth and sincerity turned into a showcase of arrogance, exposing the fragility beneath Hollywood's polished exterior. Even her most loyal supporters now find themselves at a loss for words, struggling to defend a star who once seemed untouchable.
Think about this, on what, could have been one of the most beautiful nights of my life career-wise.
Unlawful discrimination in employment, housing, business, and state-funded programs. As you can see in this chart on their website, you first have to
Addressing the criticism directly, Blake's camp attempted to redirect blame onto Justin Baldoni, a tactic that backfired instantly. The move was seen not only as unfair but also deeply tone-deaf, especially at a time when Justin was working overtime to keep the film from completely unraveling. While he showed determination to steady the project, Blake's demeanor suggested the opposite. She appeared distant, detached, and visibly uninterested, as if she'd rather be anywhere else. That moment marked a turning point. Audiences weren't just disappointed, they turned on her. The internet, quick to judge and even quicker to amplify, effectively cancelled her in real time. In the digital age, nothing slips through the cracks. Every interview clip, every reaction, and every sidelong glance gets recorded, dissected, and transformed into viral content. TikTok users pounced, breaking down the footage frame by frame, and the contrast couldn't have been clearer. Justin looked like he was carrying the weight of the film on his shoulders, while Blake seemed to shrug off the responsibility. The result? A side-by-side narrative that spread like wildfire, one star trying to salvage the project, and another visibly indifferent, leaving fans frustrated and unwilling to excuse her behavior any longer.
He was sent to the basement with all my friends and family for over an hour.
As you'll see in this part of the complaint taken by the New York Times, Wayfair was the employer of all the cast members. The California Civil Rights Department...
Clip 3. Blake Lively's carefully protected public persona has collapsed almost overnight, and the fallout is snowballing by the hour. What could have been a minor stumble has erupted into a full-scale professional crisis, largely because of a string of disastrous choices made by her PR team. In less than a week, what started as damage control turned into what observers are now calling one of the most glaring failures in celebrity crisis management in recent memory. At the center of it all is Blake herself, no longer untouchable, no longer universally admired, but exposed and nearly impossible to defend. And then came the twist. Ryan Reynolds, instead of cooling the flames, poured gasoline on the fire with a subtle move on the "It Ends With Us" set that dragged actor Justin Baldoni into the chaos. Overnight, the once beloved Hollywood power couple became the internet's favorite punchline, their image reduced to meme fodder. The receipts stacked against them are damning, and the public is keeping score in real time. It all began with what's now being labeled mistake number 1, blaming Justin Baldoni for Blake's disastrous interview. The excuse didn't just fall flat, it collapsed instantly. Viewers didn't need gossip blogs to tell them the truth. The footage was circulating everywhere. Her dismissive tone, lack of empathy toward survivors of domestic violence, and attempts to shoehorn in her own business ventures were all documented on camera. And none of it had anything to do with Justin. During the press rounds, Blake's attitude eclipsed the film itself. Instead of highlighting the emotional heart of the story, she became the story, aloof, careless, and tone-deaf. When her team tried to scapegoat Justin, the backlash grew even louder. Rather than issuing a direct apology, they chose the worst possible route: deflection. Meanwhile, Justin worked to hold the project together, while Blake appeared irritated at even having to promote it. That contrast sealed her fate. In today's digital landscape, where every smirk, eye roll, and clipped comment can be slowed down, reposted, and dissected frame by frame on TikTok, Blake had no cover. Fans quickly contrasted Justin's professionalism against her visible indifference, and the evidence was overwhelming. Her team still had options: a quick apology, a generic statement of remorse, or even a carefully worded acknowledgement of her missteps. But instead, they doubled down, choosing to blame Justin outright, daring fans to dig deeper. And dig they did. That misstep triggered a full-on internet investigation that turned a shaky moment into a career-altering scandal. From there came mistake number 2, one of the oldest and laziest PR tricks in the book, planting a story. As clips of the interviews spread across every platform, Blake's team attempted to reframe the backlash as a product of media manipulation. The spin was instantly recognizable, echoing past celebrity defenses that never hold up under scrutiny. And fans weren't fooled. By telling the public that their own eyes were lying to them, Blake's team didn't just weaken their defense, they destroyed their credibility. Social media sleuths are relentless. These are the same people who can trace an actor's lunch order from 2018 with a 2-minute search. To suggest they were being misled was to insult their intelligence. Within hours, the narrative flip backfired, sparking even more backlash. Clips continued to trend, and Blake's reputation sank deeper by the day. Then came mistake number 3, the so-called nuclear option, bringing in lawyers. Instead of slowing down the storm, this decision turned a PR mess into a legal spectacle. Cease and desist letters, leaked messages, and threats of lawsuits drowned out the very message the film was supposed to promote. Even more explosive, Blake filed a lawsuit against Justin, accusing him of harassment and a smear campaign. The internet didn't buy it. Instead, the legal threats encouraged more people to share receipts, adding layers of scrutiny to Blake's already fragile image. What started as a bad press tour snowballed into a broader referendum on her career. Former co-workers and collaborators allegedly surfaced with stories about arrogance, hostility, and manipulation, painting a much darker picture than the one fans had believed for years. The film's central themes of survival and empowerment were completely buried under lawsuits, gossip, and leaked screenshots. And then, when it seemed like the scandal had peaked, a bombshell dropped, this time involving Ryan Reynolds. Reports suggest Ryan may have unintentionally handed Justin Baldoni's team evidence by weaving suspiciously specific references into his latest Deadpool project. According to legal filings, the character Nice Pulul bore striking resemblances to Justin: the man bun, the quips about feminism and podcasting, even jokes about intimacy coordinators and postpartum bodies. Fans quickly noticed the parallels and drew the connection back to Blake's earlier accusations against Justin. The implications were devastating. If Ryan turned Blake's private allegations into punchlines for a blockbuster movie, how seriously could those claims be taken? Instead of bolstering her narrative, the move cast doubt on her credibility, suggesting her own household wasn't treating the allegations with the weight she demanded from the public. Behind the scenes, further reports surfaced that Blake and Ryan systematically pushed Justin out of the project. Allegedly, Blake rewrote scripts and controlled scenes, while Ryan attempted to buy Justin out of his role entirely. When that failed, Justin was reportedly sidelined during press tours, excluded from red carpets, and minimized at the film's premiere. Critics labeled the behavior Hollywood mean girling at its peak, and fans amplified every whisper of mistreatment. What was supposed to be a defining career moment for Blake devolved into a cautionary tale of hubris and mismanagement. Each strategic misstep added fuel to the fire, and the more her team tried to control the story, the more it slipped away. Now, the very moves meant to secure Blake and Ryan's dominance may become the evidence that dismantles them. Justin's legal team claims to have receipts. Fans have endless clips. And Ryan's own creative work is being dissected line by line as potential proof that Blake's accusations don't hold up. The fallout is staggering. Instead of a triumphant release, the couple is staring down what could go down as one of the worst PR implosions of the decade, or perhaps just the opening act in a scandal that is still far from over.